question.
I don't know. The only thing I know is that when there's a loud, sharp noise,
Right.
it just cuts right off.
Mine does the exact same thing.
Now, up to now, I've been blaming earwax, but when I walk by your mother's TV, it shut off.
Mine does the exact same thing with the
Okay.
sharp, sudden, loud noise.
So when I cut the battery off, when I turned it off and turned it back on, the hearing aid was there.
Mine does the exact same thing. All I have to do is touch the tube and it works again.
Well, this does that once in a while.
You get moisture in the tube that causes the problem.
Okay, I do know that.
I got more experience with them than you do. You got a half dozen applications? That might be the problem there.
I think I'm gonna
You might have the wrong
call
application for the wrong environment.
I'm gonna call the ear care lab and ask them what
Let me see
trade-in
your hand.
value, what trade-in value do I have for my ears?
Just let me see one. Give me one now. Go take your nap and give me one of your hearing. Go take your nap and give me one of your hearing aids. What's it gonna hurt? You don't need it to nap. Because I want to check something. Have you got a hearing aid dryer? Do you have a hearing aid dryer?
Don't eat that.
I can see moisture. I can see a water droplet right there in the tube.
Oh,
I take mine off all the time. That's all you gotta do. Try it now. You don't have to squeeze it, just stick it in your damn ear and see if it works. Maybe it's just working. It's working. What's going on there? You should get a little airsoft can, you know, like you used to blow up your keyboard on your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't blow it into the. Take it off the hearing aid. I use the air compressor out in the garage sometimes with the little needle filled basketball.
Right.
Anything just blow that snot out of there.
Right.
Is it working, Dad?
yeah.
Nah, you heard me, but it's not working.
Popcorn.
All right.
What?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is it fixed?
Yeah.
No, that's great.
It's working.
Now you can go have some beer. Now you can go drink your Coors, Dad.
I know it.
You're past your beer drinking time.
I wonder if he's got a hearing aid dryer. Because you should put that in it nightly anyway.
Oh, yeah,
It
exactly.
absorbs all the moisture.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, Dad. Do you have a hearing aid box that dries it out?
Popcorn.
What?
Come here.
All it is the box with the little light bulb in it.
Do you have a hearing aid box that's a humidifier?
A box of what?
Do you have a hearing aid box that dehumidifies your hearing aid?
Yes.
You do. Do you use
Every
it?
night. I put them in there all night and they sleep like babies.
Do you want me to do the other hearing aid? You want me to blow out the other hearing aid?
It's not in my ear.
Well, take a nap, take it out, and I'll blow it out.
Well, where is it?
I'll get it.
The hearing aid adventures.
I'm gonna go tell Mom his hearing aid ain't working. No, he's testing her with the TV. He's gonna walk right by the TV. That's what he's doing. Mom nuts, man. Too.
Yeah, be sure to close the door. It's awful noisy.
I made it by that TV without it cutting my hearing aid off.
Shut it off again?
No.
Oh. Oh, now you want me to blow this one out?
Well, look at it first. Do you see any moisture in it?
Look at it. Did you
There's always
see?
moisture in them. Because when you take, yeah, you can see it. You can see it, right? It usually gets right where the bend is.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it takes a shower, you get water in your ears. Sometimes it will just work
Hey,
back up in.
Popcorn. Why don't you use Q-tips?
They never worked for me. Besides which, your audiologist and your ear, nose, and throat guys will tell you don't use Q-tips.
I use Q-tips every day, and I don't have earwax.
They work for you. They don't work for me.
Don't
Yeah,
ask.
you can buy these tubes on Amazon, pre-bent and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. Still going to see what's his name. So that went
Tom?
behind which ear? That ear?
Yeah, left ear.
Left ear. You know the best hearing aid ever made?
Yeah.
But
What?
A horn you put up to your ear and it captures all the noise and funnels it down to one.
A seashell.
To your ears.
I'm a seashell.
Yeah,
Right?
right. You don't need feedback control. You don't need batteries.
Well, you can just take it away from your head and not listen to anybody.
You just
don't
walk,
fall.
you just walk around holding the horn,
Left ear.
horn up to your ear.
Left ear.
I know it.
Hey, why don't you get a haircut?
What to do that?
Why don't you go get a haircut?
I got an appointment tomorrow.
I feel sorry for you if you tell me that. You better drink a beer.
I like my hair cutter. There we are.
Boop. Did it cut out?
Say
Beep.
something. Say something.
Did the loud noise make it go out? Beep. You better get a beer. Hey, Julie, go get him a beer. He needs a beer.
That's where I was going. It's
Yeah,
5
he needs a
o'clock
beer. Can you
somewhere.
help him out? He needs a beer.
It's 5 o'clock
It's
somewhere.
5:26.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right, Dad?
That's right.
5 a.m. or 5 p.m.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, where's yours, Gary?
Where's mine? What?
Your beer.
I gave up beer a long time ago.
Oh, come on.
It bugs my GERD. No, it makes my, it bugs my GERD. Too GERDy.
Hey, what are we watching? Yellowstone?
Yeah, Yellowstone. Your favorite show,
Yeah.
right?
The one with all the nice language.
Yeah. Here she comes. Did you pop it for him? You gotta pop it for popcorn.
She hasn't got a license. She's not old enough to pop it.
Hey, Dad.
Pick us up a Truly. There's plenty of Truly.
Have you ever drank moonshine?
I'm not of age.
I've had moonshine,
What proof?
You're what?
I'm not of age.
probably about 90.
90 proof? Really? Where was that?
It was pure corn, moonshine. And my neighbor, when we lived on Regent Drive in Nashville, drove me over to he invited me to take a ride with him, and I did. He just finished putting new exhaust on his car. We drove over to Franklin, Tennessee, and he went to the back door of a pharmacist. And he came out, and he's got this fruit jar with this kind of a goldish white stuff in it, and it was moonshine.
Okay.
That went on. And by the way, do you know that the Coast Guard was formed in part to be used as a agency of the government to begin to control the, during Prohibition, to begin to control the distribution of moonshine, because some of the moonshine distributors had figured out the way to get from one point to another with the United States with its coastline was with speedboats. And that goes back to the 1930s, 1920s and 1930s. So there was so much, illegal liquors and rum and all that stuff being moved by speedboat around the coast of the United States that the government formed the U.S. Coast Guard.
You sure you're not talking about cocaine?
No.
So there were fast
Yeah,
speedboats back in the 20s and 30s?
Yeah, because see, Prohibition, one of the purposes, it wasn't done for moral purposes. It was done to ensure that the government was getting all the taxes
Yeah,
they should be getting.
right.
And these moonshiners weren't, it was all an underground thing, and they weren't paying any taxes on the booze.
So you took a swig of that moonshine. Did your throat catch on fire?
He was being a nice guy, and I didn't want to turn him down. It almost knocked you over. If you took a big swig of
Oh,
that.
good Lord. What happened to you, Dad?
And see, Franklin, Tennessee is a real Bible town. I mean, there's probably 20 churches in that city of
Yeah, but
Franklin,
Dad,
Tennessee.
but do you remember the Moonshine show, Moonshiners? Do you remember the show Julia Loves Moonshiners?
I don't know.
Oh my
I don't think
gosh,
so.
Julia, you never turned on to the Moonshiners?
No, I'm looking at Kiefer's sister right
So,
now.
Dad, there's a well-known moonshine distiller named Popcorn. You didn't know that?
I thought you did.
Oh yeah, that's huge. There's a guy that was his nickname was Popcorn because he made incredible moonshine. He had recipes of moonshine. And what part was he down there in Tennessee or down there in North Carolina?
Tennessee near Sevierville.
Yeah, so he was out of Tennessee. Now he passed away like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yes, because the law found his house and were coming to arrest him, so he shot himself.
He was so old. Well, but you know what, Dad? I bet you he was maybe a little younger than you.
He was in his 70s.
But he looked like he was
Yes.
80s or 90s. We got to watch the Moonshine show and show you. So I thought you knew about Popcorn.
No.
So you're famous.
No.
You're famous,
Well,
Dad. You'll run into people and you'd be like, well, I'm Popcorn. And then if they know the Moonshiner stories, they'll be like Popcorn, the Moonshiner?
Well, Tennessee and Georgia and Florida and Alabama are one of the largest moonshine states. For the
Florida? That's hard to believe, Florida. I thought it was North Carolina, South Carolina.
well, about 2 weeks ago, there was a documentary about the history of the U.S. Coast Guard. And
Right.
That's where I learned about the founding of the Coast Guard and its purpose.
Right.
And what's really interesting about that, but an interesting little fact is, and David knows where this home is too. Over in East Tampa, not too far from Seminole Heights, where he and I were rehabbing homes.
Yeah.
there's a home on the river, on the Hillsborough River. And that home, in the basement, there's a door that leads to a tunnel that goes down underground to a boat dock on the river. That home belonged to Al Capone. Remember, Al Capone
Yeah.
was notorious in the 20s and 30s. He was a bank robber, but he was selling moonshine, moving booze. So that home, he had it set up so that if the feds ever showed up to get him, and I mean, there were battles around the country with the feds, gunfights and everything else. You've heard of Bonnie and Clyde. So at any rate, the way that home was set up for Al Capone is if the feds showed up, he was going to go to the basement, out that tunnel door, down to a speedboat that was under an enclosure down there, and get away on the river. And, hey, David? Hey, David? Do you remember about that home on the Hillsborough River over in East Tampa that had the tunnel down to the river, and Al Capone had owned it at one time?
I don't remember. You mentioned it, but I don't remember it.
Well, we weren't. I've talked about it, and somebody, a native of Tampa, confirmed that Al Capone had a home down there, and he spent quite a bit of time in Tampa.
Why don't you take Gary down there someday?
I haven't been there.
Might not even be there anymore.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, so that's Tampa's claim to fame. Al Capone had a home with the tunnel of the river and a speedboat to get away from the feds.
I wonder if your dad went to it.
You wonder what?
If Doc ever saw it. Your dad.
He may have.
He was in the wrong business. He should have gone south.
Well,
He would have found his calling.
my dad had a great aunt who had a nightclub in Cicero. Cicero is a suburb of Chicago. And that tavern was a hangout of Al Capone and his gang.
Wow.
My dad's great aunt or something like that. I don't know what she'd be to me. At any rate.
Right. What time did Doc start drinking?
Out of the womb? he had a wine bottle with a nipple on it.
Yeah. This is my dad's father, whose nickname was Doc. His real name was Harold. Yeah. You knew where Doc was by 10 a.m. in the morning, right?
Yeah. And Doc, my sister cleaned out his apartment after he had passed away. She found about a half a dozen letters, all with obvious, female handwriting style. But every one of them was named, was Kitty. So my sister told me about it. So why would that be? I said, well, Dad probably couldn't remember which one was which. We just called them all Kitty.
This is your new nickname, Kitty. It was pretty smart, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simplified life.
Yeah, when my dad's father passed, his number one request was for the funeral for the driver to be a blonde, right?
And she was.
Yeah.
She was training to be an undertaker. And she was driving the hearse. She was a nice looking lady.
Yeah, so Doc wanted to go out in style, right?
My sister and I were in the back seat of the, one of the limousines, right behind him. the limousine that had the casket in it. My sister said, and this girl, this lady that's trained to be an undertaker is the driver. You know, and she was in a nice black tuxedo-like suit with the black tie and everything. So my sister looks at me and smiles. She says, "Dad's just happy as can be up there with that pretty lady driving the hearse."
Well, that's what I say. He went out in style, right?
That's right.
Oh my goodness. The Illinois, Mendota, Chicago stories, right, Dad?
Yeah. You know, my dad got evicted from the nursing home because his buddies were bringing him little bottles of gin.
Yeah. Little sample bottles.
And they were tying it under the mattress to the springs of the bed. And one of the nurses found it. He called my sister and told her, "You've got to find another place for your dad."
Oh my goodness. There's many more stories coming on that. I'm going to cut it off there. Evening hearing aid doc stories with popcorn. So stay tuned for more adventures as my brother with me talking.